decentralized. It's so decentralized and in fast speed, and its native token is like ETHTaipei. It's a stable. It's so useful. So yeah, let's welcome Stanley.
Hi everybody. Yeah, we just wait for some of the guys to come back from the toilet. We give like 5 minutes and then we'll just start. Yeah. Can I just get a sensing? Everybody here comfortable with English or prefer like Chinese? I'll just ask again.
Excuse me everyone, so let's wait for another like 5 to 10 minutes before we start this workshop, because this conference was waiting for more attendees to come. Welcome, welcome, get in, yeah, take a seat, please take a seat. Yeah, so by the way, we have a Discord channel called #workshop for this workshop. So our speakers will post their materials and links possibly to that channel. So please add that channel, and there's a HackMD document for you to write notes there if you want to. Yeah, please take a seat.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Stanley from Gnosis Builders. Today, I'll just be going through, demonstrating the whole process of how to get started as a validator. Yeah. So in this presentation, I'll just briefly introduce again for those who have not know what is Gnosis Chain. And also be going through the Gnosis VIP program. Also be going through the high level architecture and going through like what the validators do and what the validators require. And lastly, I'll just do a stereo walkthrough of setting up a validator. So yeah, I'll just give a quick introduction to Gnosis Chain again. So Gnosis Chain is a layer 1 blockchain, so it's EVM compatible.
Please speak slowly. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Gnosis Chain is a layer 1 blockchain that is EVM compatible, and Gnosis Chain follows the Ethereum roadmap closely in terms of their latest development. So one major development is the transition to proof of stake model by Ethereum. And Gnosis Chain have also done the same to adopt the same proof of stake and replacing the outgoing proof of authority model to better align with Ethereum. Next also, Gnosis Chain aims to be intuitive for all users, be it validators or developers using tools and applications that are already widely available for Ethereum that most people are familiar with. Gnosis Chain also provides affordable transaction fees that are fast, as Gnosis Chain utilizes the dual token system whereby gas fees are paid in XDAI, which is a stable coin. So hence gas fees is not affected by market volatility. And most importantly, Gnosis Chain is decentralized. So supported by over 120,000 validators from over 60 countries in the world. So just second behind Ethereum. So Gnosis Chain has also a low barrier of entry, whereby only 1 gen is required to start validating on the network. Lastly, Gnosis Chain has a robust ecosystem of tools and infrastructure to support developers developing on Gnosis Chain. So before I introduce on how to validate for Gnosis, I'll first introduce our first program by Gnosis users to encourage decentralization and diversity on the Gnosis Chain network. So this is the Gnosis VIP is it's called Gnosis Validator Incentive Program. It aims to actually greatly improve the decentralization of the Gnosis Chain to ensure the resilience and diversity of our validator network. So decentralization for Gnosis Chain aspires to be the most secure and credibly neutral blockchain supported by a deeply decentralized network. And we also, in Gnosis VIP, there's also bounties and incentives. So participants get rewards in general for completing the bounties. So the first program is Geographic Diversity Program. So there's 5 million US dollars in bounties that's allocated to so that you actually, as for Gnosis to be the most decentralized and geographically diverse network, so we're actually targeting over 100 countries and to have actually Gnosis validators in over 180 countries by the end of the year. So this goes back to the mission, which is to decentralize, so to allow actually Gnosis Chain to be the most credible, neutral blockchain. So we have here at Gnosis Builders, we have also developed tools for users and validators to actually check the state of decentralization. So this is a useful resource where you can actually check how many validators are really active in the network and also check out the countries, and actually also can compare with Ethereum on the state of like the decentralization of Gnosis. Validator Gnosis is a website where users can actually come and actually, for example, if they are interested in validating for Gnosis Chain, they can actually come here and actually there's a very intuitive tool where you can actually select the type of the way that you want to validate for Gnosis chain, that suits your level of familiarity with, for example, Unix. So just a high-level network architecture. So Gnosis chain was much better than 2021 with ETHTaipei chain. And last year, December, we had the merge where we placed the authority to a fully decentralized and permissionless proof of stake network. And yeah, so the next upgrade will be the Chapella. So we'll just be enabling the withdrawal of validated account balance from the process layer to the execution layer. So the roadmap actually follows very closely to Ethereum. Yeah, so actually what do validators do? So for validators, the role is to actually maintain security and integrity of the network. So to actually help validate transactions and blocks in the Gnosis chain network. And second is to encourage decentralization, to help prevent centralization of network by allowing many validators to participate in the validation process. Lastly, we also like validators to actually earn rewards for doing validation work and helping to secure the network. So what do validators require? So these are the three basic components for validators. So for validating in Gnosis, you require one journal, and one journal will be converted into 32 mJNO during the validation process. You also require hardware. So for hardware, you can actually use a server at home or use laptop with specs. So if not, you can just provision one virtually from GCP or AWS or DigitalOcean. So for example, if GCP or AWS is not available at your local region, you can always get for a local cloud provider. All it needs is just a Linux computer to run the validator software. And lastly, is just a stable network. So stable network connection is important as you'll be validating network transactions continuously, and you could be looking at terabytes of data moving in and out of the network interface. Yeah, so here are the basic, this is the chart of our basic hardware requirements. So we actually recommend you to have actually start the monitor performance build. So around 16 GB of RAM and 2 terabytes of storage. And yeah, that could actually it's enough to actually maintain the validators. And yeah, all of these can actually, like I said, you can actually use like an old computer or just just use one from the GCP or AWS. Yeah, so here are all the useful resources that you may need for to start validating for Gnosis chain. So first is the docs.gnosischain.com. So this is actually the entry point for all the documentation in Gnosis chain. Next is the validategnosis.com, where you have like just now where you have a simple and intuitive interface if you like to start validating for Gnosis chain. Next one is also very important, so it's actually the byextile.com/gno. So it's inside there will be instructions on how to obtain gno depending on your preferred marketplace. And lastly is the gnosisvip.com. So if you'd like to know more about the validator incentive program to actually encourage diversity and decentralization. Yeah, so next one I'll just be moving on to the setting up Gnosis Validator using Stereo. those who want to follow along, you can just follow along. So today, in general, we'll be actually using Stereo. So Stereo is a one-click tool where validators can actually participate in validation easily. And all you need is actually a server. So for today, we'll be going through setting up a server from DigitalOcean. But yeah, if anybody wants to follow through, it's also possible. You can actually maybe provision a server from AWS or GCP. If not, you can just follow. You can just flow through the screen and we'll just explore on how actually easy you actually start with Validator. Yeah. So for starting, you can actually head on to Stereo.net where you can download like a application for your desktop, and from there you also need to start a server. So for example, I'll just start a new one. Actually, the easiest way for validators is actually to use it using cloud, because you actually don't need to manage your own. You don't need to buy the hardware. You don't need to manage the network, and everything is already managed for you. And so we'll just spin up a droplet for DigitalOcean. So actually for DigitalOcean, you can actually also choose the region so that's closest to you. So for example, right now we're in Taiwan, so I'll just select Singapore, and then based on the recommended, we'll go for maybe storage. And so 32 gig. The minimum is 16 gigs, and also 2 terabyte. I'll just do some basic setup. So once we have provisioned a server, we can actually go to Stereo and just open the launcher, and we'll just wait for the IP address of the container to be exposed. So now we have the IP address, so we can just input these details onto Stereo. So Stereo is very easy. So once you have added all the details, it will just automatically load the Docker containers for your validators. So just connecting. So for Gnosis, we will actually recommend you to actually use one-click installation. So everything has been set up. So Gnosis builders have been working with Stereo closely to actually make this process a smooth one. So yeah, so just select one-click installation, and select the Gnosis mainnet and staking. And yeah, so these are the services that we installed. So both the execution and the consensus clients, which is Nethermind and Lighthouse, and also some data analytics platforms such as Grafana, Prometheus. And yeah, if everything looks okay, we can just proceed on. So for the Lighthouse, we will need to actually sync from a checkpoint sync, because if not, it will take very long. So to actually retrieve this, we can actually go to the documents and just Gnosis actually also provide like a checkpoint sync server, and you can just copy this and then just use this as a checkpoint sync. So all of this will be installed. So gone are the days where you have to manually actually set up your server, set up your Linux, and also set up your Docker compose. So everything is just one click. Yeah. So next, and then your validator node will be set up. So here will be all the tasks that they are actually running. So you'll be just installing all the packages and configuring the firewall. So this makes it much easier for anybody who is new to Linux or new to validating. So you don't have to actually, we can actually start this rather than going through like a staking pool. Yeah. So while this is installing, I'll just be going through like possibly how would you get GNO. So GNO is our staking token. So to get GNO, depends on where you are actually. So the easiest way is to just go to our buy style, and there's a buy GNO, and then you can actually select. So usually for GNO, you're actually getting from on the Ethereum network. So for example, if you would like to use card to buy, there's always this option. So these links will actually direct you to a third-party service where you can get your GNO. If not, you can get it through the exchange, and there's a couple of exchanges that supports that has a GNO token, so you can actually buy from there. Yeah. So yeah. Meanwhile, I also have set up a Ethereum node that's already been configured, so I'll just go from there. Okay, so every time you want to access to your node back again, it will be very simple. You just have to get your IP and then just log in accordingly. Yeah, and it will be actually presented with a dashboard. So this is the example. For example, if you have already set up, so all the setup process has been done. Yeah. So for example, you can see that the execution client has been installed, the consensus, and so this gives you an overview, and you actually can manage your node using this sidebar here, where you can actually turn off or restart. And for example, if you want to check how your node is doing, is your node attesting properly, you can actually check out for example, this Grafana browser, Grafana tool, and you just open in the browser, and it will just present you a list of dashboards that you can access. For example, if you want to check whether your Lighthouse is syncing properly, you can actually check like the summary. So So this is Nethermind, so actually you can see that we're actually connected to 32 peers and yeah. And so for this stereo, that I haven't provisioned any GNO, so there'll be there's no GNO that's stick right now here. And for Lighthouse will be yeah, so you just can check all the data and yeah, so you don't have to actually provision yourself, you don't have to actually start like set up your own dashboard. Everything is already built in for you to actually start validating. So the next one I would like to see is actually the control panel. So actually you can see like the status of the of your entire node. So you can actually see the available disk space and also the sync status. So for example, is your consensus is fully synced, or is your Nethermind fully synced? And before you can actually start staking. So for staking itself, there's also a panel. So you just have to deposit your keys into here, and then it will automatically stake for you. So you will be able to see the validator key within like 1 day in the beacon chain. Yeah. So just a note, before you start, I'll just go through this. So actually to set up, we've now gone through the basics, so setting up your stereo. So next we'll be going through like setting up like your validator key. So you just have to first generate validator key using the OneView keygen. So all of this is available in the docs. So what basically is that you actually generate the key from using this, and you create like a secret recovery place. And then once you have all this, you actually output a JSON document. So for example, in this example, this person is actually putting 4 validator keys. So 4 validator keys means 4 GNO is being staked. And then you just have to input the withdrawal address. So withdrawal address is the withdrawal address that is the address that you it can be any just Ethereum address, yeah, that you want. So this one is for during the next upgrade where you can actually withdraw your validators. So all the rewards will go to this Ethereum address. And then once done, you just have to put a password, and then you should be able to get the keys. So there's 2 different files. There's the key store file, and as well as the deposit data file. So for the key store file, you just have to upload it into the stereo, and then automatically you'll be able to see your validator validating. And also most of secondly, also most of the GNO that you'll be getting is from the Ethereum network itself. So you will need to actually use the Omni bridge to actually bridge the GNO token from the Ethereum into the Gnosis chain. So yeah, so this is very simple. You just have to ensure that you have Gnosis token on the Ethereum net, and then you just have to ensure that the from and to the destination is okay, and then you can just bridge it. And before starting to validate your, before putting the key into your validator, you have to ensure that your beacon chain is fully synced, because if not, you'll be losing. If the beacon chain is not fully synced, you'll be losing attestation. You'll be missing attestation, and that could negatively impact your validator balance. So how do we check this validator balance? Is actually you can actually go to the beaconchain.com. So for example, this is a validator that was validating from Singapore. So as you can see, in the first few days, because the beacon chain is not fully synced, that's why there's missing excitation. So actually there's deductions to your main validator balance. So just when you actually stick, before you're actually going to put the key into stereo, you have to ensure that both the lighthouse and the landmine are fully synced. So you can actually see from there. Yeah. So once both are fully synced, you're actually safe to go, and you won't get any like reduction. Yeah. But actually, in a sense, it's okay to miss excitation because if you miss 3 days, you actually make it back in 3 days. So it doesn't hurt. So what hurts is actually having two multiple validator keys on different nodes. So then you will result in slashing, and that could actually affect more significantly your validator balance. Yeah. So yeah. So to deposit your beacon, your Gnosis token or Gnosis chain into like a deposit contract, you have to use the deposit gnosischain.com. And once you have done that, then you'll be able to actually get the data. And so I've also created like a GitHub where actually you can actually follow the step by step, and the link is available in the Discord. So yeah, so you actually can see the whole entire process of actually putting the key, so putting the JSON data into the stereo, and then starting the validation. Yeah, so unfortunately, that is it for like how to start a validator in Gnosis chain. So is there any question? I'll just open to the floor. Yeah. So basically, having a validator allows you to participate in the network, and you also at the same time you actually earn rewards from this. Yeah. So actually, I would like to invite you. So he's our local. He has been validating from Taiwan, I think, from last month. So probably just invite him to come up to share a couple of thoughts, like how has it been for validating for Gnosis chain. Yeah.
Thanks. And maybe I use Mandarin to share my experience to become a Gnosis validator. And 所以我是从3月的时候，然后 Gnosis 的一个 founder 是叫 Ethan， 在 LinkedIn 上面就私讯我，就说，我有个计划，要不要来参加我的 Gnosis 的 validator 的 program？ 然后我想说，看这是不是又是一个诈骗讯息啊？又是一个 spam message？ 然后对我就这样看，然后他说，那我要请你介绍一下什么是 Gnosis chain。然后他说，这是我全世界第3大的去中心化的公链，对，就是在比特币、以太坊，然后第3个是 Gnosis chain。然后他现在的 APY 大概是在，他那时候跟我讲说是在16%，当然随着不同的 validator 的数量会有改变。我想说，哇，16%是不是真的是诈骗啊？怎么这么高啊？因为以太坊的4%多嘛，对。然后后来就实际去了解啊，然后也就看了一下医生的 background， 就发现这确实是一个活着的公链，对，然后也有很多的开发者在上面，所以我想说 OK， 那我就下来做做看。然后最吸引我的就成为这个 validator 的理由，其实有3个。第一个就是你 run 一个 Gnosis 的 validator 的技能，跟你 run 一个 Ethereum 的 validator 技能是完全可以转换的。然后尤其你 run 一个 Ethereum 的 validator 要32个 ETH 嘛，就算你是用 Rocket Pool， 现在也要8个 ETH。 那这个成本是非常高的。假如你中间出了什么差错，像一开始那个 beacon node 没有完全 fully sync 的话，你会受到一些 slash。那在以太坊的话，你就会觉得哦，好心痛哦，每个都扣了很多钱。但在 Gnosis 的话，你就比较没有这个困扰，因为你只要关 GNO 就可以 become a validator。那一个 GNO 现在大概是台币3000多块，所以是大家是非常可以负担的。
对，相对亲民。
对啊，相对亲民，我觉得。对啊。然后再接下来就是确定要做之后，就是我决定是不用 cloud service 了，我就想要 build 一个自己的 service 在我的家里，所以我就买了一个 NUC， 就是小台电脑，对啊。然后这个 NUC 的推荐是，我就放了那个 ETHTaipei 这个道的 community， 就我上去看说，大家在distribution大家是要怎么让自己的 hardware， 对，那他们是这样推荐，对。然后所以我就买了一台 NUC， 然后是12代的，然后接下来就是 RAM 我买32G， 然后 SSD 的话我买2TB， 那这样总共的一个 package 大概在$600左右，所以其实真的负担不是很重，所以大家都很推荐来成为自己的独立质押者啦，对吧？你就有一个确实参与在这个区块链里面的经验，就其实蛮难能可贵的。对，那我一开始是想用 DevNode， 对 DevNode， 但是 DevNode 在12代的 Intel chip， 它的网卡上面有点问题，它也没有办法联网，所以我装了 DevNode 在我的 NUC 上面的话是没有办法联网的，对，所以那时候就有一点这样小状况。那 DevNode 在 Gnosis 的 Dock 上面是第一个，那第二个的话是 Nismline 的话，所以第二个我就进到 Nismline Sage， 它也是像刚刚介绍的 Stereo 也是 One Click Tool， 只是它不是 GUI 的界面，对，它是 CUI 的界面 ，Command Line 的界面，所以我就因为第二个是讲到 Nismline Sage， 所以我就用了 Nismline Sage。那其实它设定的方式也是很简单，它就只是从 GUI 变成文字，然后就照着它一步一步下去设定，其实就 OK 了，对啊。然后现在就是我让了我的节点，然后前3天因为没有 fully sync， 然后我就把我的 GNO 存进去了，然后被扣了3天钱，其实也没有多少，还好。然后我现在就是完全就让它活得好好的，然后活在我的家里，然后我就变成一个我是一个去中心化的贡献者，看起来很酷，对啊，就是这样子。然后也因此这样认识了医生，然后医生还赞助我来这个 ETHTaipei， 你看听起来多酷，大家就赶快来加入我们这个 Gnosis Validator program， 对啊。然后如果有什么问题的话，因为我要做这个 Gnosis 的 Validator， 我因此开了一个 Instagram 的 page， 就是想说，那我就记录下来所有我在成为这个 Validator 上面遇到的问题，然后都是中文记录或者是英文记录，两个都有，对。所以如果有需要的话，等一下也可以来问我问题，就假如对吧，想要用中文问的话，我也可以回答，对，没错。然后对，大概是这样子。对，有兴趣的话，等一下可以来找我，我就坐在这边。对，好，感谢。
今天the workshop today will just conclude. Yeah, so if any questions, you can just find me, and I will just try to actually get you to know more about how validating for Gnosis chain is like. Yeah, so thank you.
我们再掌声谢谢Stanley一次好不好？
做事情是这样，这是直播还是什么？录的。